not want a job. They might not. What they may require is to be off of our streets.
And it only took bullets flying in their own backyard for the Liberals, of course, after CNN hosts previously mocked the surge in violence.
Listen to conservative media, you would think that, you know, entire brawled and fights and fires and whatever. We went out and had a great. People actually walked up to us and said, thank you for, I watch you every double take at us actually hanging out and not seeing us on the TV screen.
When Jim Acosta's fancy dinner got erupted last night.
I guess, happened to be there? And what did you see? What did you hear?
Anderson, I was having dinner at a restaurant that's very popular in D.C. It's on 14th Street in Northwest Washington.
In Jim Acosta's shoes, where people had just died. People were running everywhere. And I was mentioning that I was at not a restaurant. I name dropped the restaurant, wasn't even English. And a national broadcast.
Right, yeah.
It's not a local broadcast. I would just say I wouldn't be sprucing the dinner up with all of these superlatives.
Where in the 5 o'clock hour. But I don't know if you and Jim Acosta, this is engaging in a cover-up of violent crime for quite reasons. They did it because they wanted Biden in. There were people dying. Those two clowns, Cuomo and Lemon, they were mocking, laughing about it. Remember the guy, it's a microcosm of during the riots, he was an ESPN reporter or a contributor until the riot got to his, breached his dignity. And what did he do? He called 911. Now, I said this on this, it's not until the crime affects the national story. Until then, it's always going to be just a local story. Costa point here, it's only of interest because it's an ego-driven story. It's now at the restaurants where they're really worried. Crime doesn't exist until it gets in their face. What's happening, and people like Maxine Waters and everyone's happening. You got to get it right. The crime has to get in their face, right? The crime stand it is if it's in their face. Lastly, I was amazing, just amazing. Said it all better than any. Is when leaders talk about announcing a crackdown on that you weren't cracking down on it before. It's like when it up in the air. It's like, why can't you just go fast the whole time? And I'm going on a diet next week, which meaning I'm not eating. Why can't we just all the frickin' time? And it's because the elite activist class. So you have these poor guys that are trying to do their job, and you have people dying. But it disrupts his dinner, and he gets to tell you where he was. Salisa gets to talk about the great seats he had at the baseball game. They can put themselves in the story. It won't matter. So maybe work in their neighborhoods.
Well, if Lemon East or Upper West, meanwhile, across the river in Brooklyn, he should be able to see what's bigger than himself. Katie, Greg mentioned, see crime. The police chief sees criminals. And it's the bail reform, it's the lack of sentencing, and it's the lack of prosecution. Guys?
Yeah, he's talking to the broken justice system in D.C. behind bars, and the feds have a role to play here too with charging them with going to federal prison than they are going to local jails where they know they're going to be let out. They'll know who they are, which is an indication that they have a pretty these guys. But I have a friend who has a business right on that corner. We pulled up right when it was happening, and the truth is that there have been this year alone, the city has been a hellhole for a year. And it's not just that this is capital of the United States of America. And I can't tell you how to bring my kids to D.C. Should I come? And the answer has been no. Safe. It is being run by criminals, and you can't go by BLM activists with their bullhorns while you're having dinner outside. Shot if you go out to dinner in a normally safe. The question is, where's the accountability for the prosecutors and for? Oh, I'm going to put more cops on the street after the Nationals shooting outside. Cops on the street are completely worthless if they're not going to be prosecuted. Police chief said about these guys don't want jobs. They are bad things to innocent people, and they need to go away.
My thoughts are that I think it's going to be really interesting to see come up between mayors in these big cities and police chiefs are elected by the populace that tends to lean left, and what the police are actually saying. And when we're going to see what happens in just a few months when Eric Adams and who he appoints as police chief, and he was elected by the same class. So that's older black voters, a lot of those who are concerned about the crime issue. That's what he led with. And he said we can ensure that we are pro law enforcement and make sure that this becomes a feel safer on their streets. He had that great line about, you know, white, black, and brown communities waking up to gunshots. And I think that your cities, you've seen it in the task force that was down at the White House, Lewis from Chicago, and they're speaking very differently than they're here. It's obviously a travesty. It's really scary. These are all places, going to a baseball game, going out to dinner, even at a play. But it's terrible.
I've probably been to.
You liked it.
I probably loved it. I probably did. Go ahead.
I hate that word because we need to arrest and prosecute and put or commit violent crimes. Eric Adams has a tall order. They're violent. That's the plan. There are thousands of people who've been released from right here. They need to, it's going to take a lot that has created this cascade of violence here in New York City, whether it's the bail reform. I digress, but to perfectly illustrates the soft bigotry of the left-wing media. They only get serious and give a when violence gets close to them, when they gets close to them. Initially, the defund and demonize the police, lower income neighborhoods, minority neighborhoods where people of color live. And that's where the criminal, now it's everywhere. And now all of a sudden, because Jim Acosta, like a gas, goes on TV and can name drop this restaurant, but could become more noxious, but he managed to do it. And talking to the liberal leadership.
Right.
Everybody needs to ask them, how many murders are okay with you here in New York City? 100, what we had 30 years ago? How many rapes are okay? How many? And by the way, the Biden administration, the Justice Department can do something. Gun crimes, 80% of gang activity involves them. You can go in, prove it's a racketeering organization, and that maybe, say, a Kim Gardner in St. Louis won't prosecute, or the So Biden could do something if he cared.
Yeah, but criminals, Dagan.
January 6th, insurrection.
That's right. Those are the people. Ahead, everybody's talking about masks, but there's an even restrictions, and we'll tell you about that next.
Cancel. And if you think it isn't changing the fabric of the country, you need to think again.
I knew in my heart that my career, as I knew it, was over.
Really? I'm the biggest villain and from their livelihood.
The New Left racist. Canceled in the USA. Streaming now.
So then I said to him, you ought to customize your car for what you need.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, liberty, liberty. We care that it's been hard. We care that you found a way, that you long to roam free again. Because we care. Book now at bestwestern.com.
Here are some easy rules. No sugar, no food you love. Stress, no stress. Days off, easy, no? 14-day, you can take the mystery out of your diabetes.
You know what you want to order?
Yes. Freestyle Libre 14-day.
My name is Mason, and I loved ball for about 65 years. And I've played 27 games, and it is a great opportunity to be able to continue to come. 20 years old, I was starting to lose it, and my legs felt like they were what I could do to get it back. And I heard of Balance of Nature, and I do feel better. Taking Balance of Nature, get back to run, playing ball and taking care of my family, and I recommend Balance of Nature to anybody because I'm excited. Balance of Nature works. I'm going to take it till I go to the next.
Start your journey with the by going to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FOXNEWS.
You've been taking mental health meds and your mind is finally you have uncontrollable body movements called tardive dyskinesia. It seems like that's all people see. Some meds for mental health signaling in the brain, while how it works is not fully understood in signaling.
Ingrezza is a prescription medicine used to treat adults. People taking Ingrezza can stay on their current dose of most mental health meds, allergic to any of its ingredients. Ingrezza may cause serious side effects, operate heavy machinery, or do other dangerous activities until you know. Serious side effects include potential heart rhythm problems and abnormal movement.
On you, ask your doctor about Ingrezza. It's simple. One pill prescribed for TD. Learn how you could pay as little as $0 at Ingrezza.
Variant delaying return to work. Inside the Factors, Wall Street executives are now. Is here to stay. Neil covers it all on Cavuto Live.
Access your Google Nest Hello doorbell from your TV, which means lame delivery that's like not even for you. Or Mike Gardner.
Wait, what time is it? No, he's here early. Mom!
Always know who's at your door right from your TV. View your Google Nest Hello doorbell on your TV with Dish to you.
We all know that we'll eventually need a will. How about right now? Trust and Will, reading your will, and made it easy. Like while you're lounging on the couch. Is designed by attorneys, but customized by you. One are state-specific, legally valid, and start at just $89. Find the plan that's right for you at trustandwill.com.
Easy, take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own wheels.
Over bringing back mask mandates, the White House is reportedly considering telling her up again. But there's an even bigger fight over COVID restrictions that is pushing vaccine mandates.
There's one thing that would change the equation when it comes to incentives, and that's they could say, get the vaccine, you have a proof of vaccination. That would be really key, and I also think that vaccine.
And Dr. Fauci is praising a new NFL rule that would, if unvaccinated players cause outbreaks and they can't play a game.
We're seeing is an indirect way to pressure people into saying that, you know, if in fact you're unvaccinated and you get, I think that's what the NFL is doing. So it's a way of being without explicitly mandating.
So, Greg, there's a White House press briefing every day almost now for the past week. Why doesn't the...
And it's not really a question. It's more of a, like, why aren't you doing this? Because proof of vaccination.
Yeah, it's... If you're not wearing a mask, somebody's going to come up to you, some kind of force is going to come up to you and ask you to do pretty chilling stuff, right? It's kind of...
Yeah.
It's weird, but because we've been talking about this forever, we may be dealing with this for everyday variable, like traffic and weather. Traffic... You check the weather updates, the forecast, the COVID cases, or there's a slight, like you could actually do it like weather. There's a southeast, you know, it's like, so if it becomes like a Monday, maybe that's the main variable in our life. So we dial down all this meter and we pull back on the thirst for, I don't know, power, because we can't be politicizing it. Participated in gain of function. It was the denied it. And then it's the media that buried the concern and labeled anybody who, because it was linked to China. So forgive Americans of authorities, people in power. And if they start talking, don't take orders. We follow laws, but you give us an order. I'm saying this to somebody that's vaccinated, and I'll keep getting vaccinated. A mask makes me feel free and naked.
So, Jesse,
you have to keep your pants
on. So, Jesse, I think we have to dial back the fear panic. The majority of the country is vaccinated. There's herd immunity from natural infection. You don't get the vaccine, that your chance of dying is very high. Now, that might be, but for people who are not getting vaccinated, young people, for example, their chances of 99%.
Right. And we're being lectured to by a guy who's a pandemic. And we were forced to work, essential workers, during the pandemic. So that was against their will. And now, if you don't want a shot, they've already worked their tails off for the entire year, FDA approved, then that's their right. They have medical liberty in this country. We are like on the precipice of destroying this, and we're acting like we're still dealing with 5,000 deaths a day per weekly basis that we've ever have been. And if you get the shot, there's only so much you can push these people, right? You have percentages.
Right.
And they've been living their daily lives like the rest of us. To say that the right wing is leaning towards authoritarianism, yet force injections into strangers' arms against their will, and then say it, I mean, that is authoritarianism. That is not freedom, and that's not America.
NFL players who are saying they may retire early as a result of this mandated vaccine.
We'll be happy to get DeAndre Hopkins' spot if that's what it comes down to.
To lose their job for the sake of keeping their...
I think that private that they want, and the NFL has decided that players, it won't be mandated. They have a very in that you can only do certain things socially versus vaccinated players are going to be this rule that tier 1 employees have to be vaccinated. And was it a Ravens coach too?
A Vikings
coach. Vikings coach. I'm not doing this. And I think that's the way that we're going to institute these types of rules. And we have to be really careful, though, about the Kaiser Family Foundation just put out a huge poll that was super interesting on this front. And they said the people are friends and family and your personal doctor. And I think we really need to talk about it, talk about the fact that you didn't have bad side effects and the lives are in a high risk.
But Dagan, it's like we're throwing all common sense and actual science out. The vaccines have efficacy, like they say.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Katie.
And a mask.
Why are people who are vaccinated so unnerved? For whatever reason, make the choice not to get vaccinated. The unvaccinated, on them. Right. It's not on the vaccinated. Why would Sean Penn, I'm not returning to my Watergate TV series, which ironically is the cast and crew get vaccinated. They're all going, oh, thank the Lord. Why is he so worried about the unvaccinated? If you're vaccinated, that Liana Wen on CNN, that woman, Parenthood, you'd think she'd be pro-choice, wouldn't you? Your body to these vaccines, there's no place. The left does not accept choice. But I think it goes back to the whole thing of fear and control equals power. They're still trying to, they're still trying to cling to that control over the American people. People smell those.
We have to add in here that we've all been vaccinated our whole lives. Our parents didn't object to it, and we didn't object to it.
A little bit of a different situation, but we have to go.
If you're an adult.
Up next, the one cashing in on his art.
Experience hype at the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event.
Get all 2021 Lexus hybrid models.
Experience amazing.
Diamond solitaires are now $4.99, 1 carat $9.90, 2 carat $12.99, and the guaranteed lowest prices on thousands of GIA diamonds. Wrecked.
Know this wants to kill you and can.
See Disney's Jungle Cruise. Applebee's in a neighborhood.
Are you tired of using towels you think are going to be amazing, but don't around on your skin?
Other towels seem to smear the water on your skin because
my skin is still wet. You deserve a better towel. And first towel that is guaranteed to dry you faster.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell and MyPillow. Towels that actually work. I've created the best but dries us. What a concept.
The new MyPillow towels are exclusively combed cotton with proprietary technology and with maximum guaranteed to work.
I'm interrupting this commercial right now. And to thank you for your support, I'm going to pass the savings direct at my 6-piece towel sets. Regular $109.99. Now only MyPillow dog beds for as low as $19.99 with your promo code.
Sheets, I got the Giza Dream sheets. They are the most comfortable.
It's so easy to just roll up and take anywhere I want.
So that's what I really like. It's nice and supportive and it's nice and small.
The MyPillow topper, cool night's sleep. I'm able to go to bed and just get rest.
That's in the MyPillow mattress topper. It's just like a firm cloud.
So I can do my job in the morning.
Go to MyPillow.com, MyPillows, but so much more. For example, you get my 6-piece now only $44.98 or MyPillow dog beds for his little promo code.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world.com.
I've made progress with my mental health. So when I called tardive dyskinesia, I ignored them. But when the movements in I finally had to say, it's not okay. It was. She said that Austedo helps reduce TD movements in adults. While patients.
Austedo can cause depression, suicidal thoughts, or pay close attention to and call your doctor if you become depressed, have sudden changes in mood. Common side effects include inflammation of the nose and throat, insomnia, and sleepiness. Taking Resprin, tetrabenazine, or valbenazine. Austedo may cause irregular or fast heartbeats, fever, stiff muscles, problems thinking, and sweating.
Talk to your doctor. Time to treat TD. TD is not okay. Visit Ask.
Way with corruption, if you're a Democrat. Hunter Biden expected to meet this year, despite not having any formal qualifications or training. $500,000. And the White House thinks this is all perfectly.
He is attending gallery events that had been prior meeting with prospective buyers. The selling of his art will all happen through gallery. Names and individuals will be kept confidential. We will not be aware, neither will he be. Not know who purchases his art.
But the watchdogs are Obama's former ethics chief.
Who showed up on the scene and started selling for the cost of a house profiting off the presidency. I have a feeling if he did it under a pen name, he wouldn't get much.
Jesse, I hate yoga, but I love totally into this. Is Hunter Biden's going to meet with potential buyers, but he's not. And there's no scenario in which buyers can provide. And
tell Jen Psaki had to take a shower after that briefing. I know Jen's language and her facial expressions. Everyone knows she's lying. She doesn't, because that's her job. Art is subjective, so you can inflate the cost value for art. So it's total BS. And the way that it buys, donors are not giving to Biden. There's a cap, right? 25, whatever it is per family, right? Or you could give to a super PAC, but use it on the campaign. This is a direct donation to Hunter Biden has a history of using money off his father's name to pay for the finances and the expenses for uncles, for Joe himself, for kids, for all that stuff. So making a donation, you're making a heavy, heavy donation to influential than just a random donation to the campaign. First, remember, just anonymous donor. And now Hunter's meeting with this so-called. We're going to find out who paid $1 million. $1 million? It's not to the Biden campaign. It's to the Biden family. That pays for holiday bills and cars, all of that stuff. That is and it can't be regulated, and that should be illegal in a campaign finance.
Hunter Biden and being like, I bought the art from you. Yeah. There's nothing these potential buyers
and then you return the favor eventually.
Yeah,
when you...
This is amazing to me. He's making art through a glass straw in his pool house, which is really gross. Dollars to buy Hunter Biden's spit on happening. Right? That is spit on with paint. To me, Joe Biden not putting his foot down on this, I think, is very telling about you, because Hunter Biden made all that money at Burisma. He still has he has enough money, and Joe Biden isn't telling him, like, you can do your little hobby in the pool house. You can't sell it until I leave the White House.
Yeah, for what, $20 million?
Why are they allowing this to happen? Keep it away for a while.
I'm not saying 8.
Greg, you had your finger up.
No, why hasn't somebody asked the president to put his foot down? Because you spend on this particular issue when you have rampant crime. You think that there would be some, I hate to use the phrase reading the room, because clearly it's to say, look, you guys, this is really a destructive